Playoff time. We are again in another best of 5. Now we got Dynouh going up against Team Madara. Now, again, we went through a couple of phases with the RavenCourt here. At first, we had the preseason where teams or players could just show themselves a little bit and, yeah, just present their skills and also start to play with some of the captains that would then eventually draft the teams. We went into the round robin with 6 teams in total then afterwards. And, of course, the top 4 in the standings, determined through the round robin, moved straight into the winners bracket. The 5th and 6th place ended up in the losers bracket, so they only have one chance, you know, to win the tournament, but they're still in the running. And now we are here in the winner bracket. Dynouh finished 2nd place, and Madara ended up 3rd after all. So coming down to the last play there actually in the round robin when that got determined, and for Madara in particular there was a big opportunity to end up even first in the standings, and they couldn't quite pull through here, but they are still in a position where they can fight their way through the winners bracket right now. And it's an interesting match between the two, so obviously also a rematch from what we've seen in the round robin where they went to the 3rd map. And I want to see if we're going the distance here, if we're going map number 5, map number 4, if one of the teams can maybe completely show up. For me, Madara was the surprise with his team in the round robin. They did much, much better than I personally expected. Had a great showing there, so maybe they can go all the way with this. We'll find out. But yeah, it's going to be a good one. Shire, also the starting map. Not really a starting map that you see all that often, and it's kind of interesting. Now, while the first draft shapes up, there's also a question I want to ask the people that are watching this on YouTube, because it became a discussion on Twitch. So we've been talking about variables a little bit, and all of these health variables that exist these days. There's obviously sports watches that you have and all of these things. I personally don't want to wear one of these when it comes to sleep tracking and heart rate monitoring, because particularly during the night, I just don't want to have a watch. But I've been thinking about getting myself one of these like fitness rings, for example. There's the Aura ring. Don't like that you have a subscription model there, so that's already out, but there's another one, human something ring, I can't really remember, and apparently Apple and Samsung and some others are also looking into that. And I'm actually curious, is anybody that is watching this right now, do you guys have any of these rings? Do you like them? What kind of actual information do you get from them that you use on a daily basis? Or is it just a gimmick where you're saying like, hey, yeah, it's kind of interesting, but it doesn't really affect me, or I don't really change anything when I see stuff there? I think for heart rate tracking is kind of interesting, particularly resting heart rate increases where you can tell a bit earlier that you're getting sick and stuff like that. But it's a topic that I find is very interesting right now, but might make sense to wait a little bit longer. I'm not sure though. So particularly these rings concepts are kind of interesting. But one of the things particularly that I don't really get is like, you're supposed to wear it all the time, so also when you're doing sports, so that you can monitor that properly. But if you're doing weight training, you usually don't have full finger gloves. So if you have a ring on during weight training, doesn't that thing scratch like crazy whenever you're using a barbell or some dumbbells or anything else? That seems to me insanely impractical. So I'm not quite sure if anybody has practical experience with this, but I would be interested to know if you do. Okay, they're banning Uther. That is not a ban that I expected here right now. I gotta check through this real quickly. Why would you ban Uther? We had some really nice double support plays from some teams, particularly Ultralisk's team, multiple times, where they go Uther Stukov and they counter Genji with it, which I really liked. Because it makes it much harder for Genji to engage, particularly if he looks for light bomb setup. So if you go in and Uther stuns you, then you're of course immediately in trouble. So yeah, kind of curious to see what exactly is going on here, because an Uther ban as the 3rd on Shire is not something that I necessarily thought they would go for. Obviously, you can always target Ixir. Okay, there's Genji. Alright. So I think Genji was really the pick where they said, we don't want to deal with Uther on the other side, particularly if you consider what else they have. They have Sylvanas for one Wailing Arrow, they got Blaze for another stun, Anubrak for another stun. He has enough to deal with. You don't want to run into Uther as well. But okay. Alright. So, Ixir has been targeted quite a bit. With a different setup, I would say we might see his Ana, but not so much here. White main instead it is. So Junkrat together with Sylvanas is going to be responsible for the damage. And last but not least, we get our boy Rutsu with a pick. There's a chance, by the way, that we're gonna see his Zarya in this series. I would also assume that depending on the map, Madara's team might ban her. Not here so much, again, Shire. But there's a chance that we're gonna get some nice combos later on, if they can get it through with the draft. But yeah, let's go. Game number 1, the final pick. It's Zeratul. I'm a fan already. Okay, Shire, our first map in the best of 5 between Madara and Dynouh. Team Dynouh against Team Madara. Game number 1. We are on Shire. Dynouh playing Genji for the blue team. Captain Rex on Rhaegar. We got Johan on Muradin. Rutsu on Zeratul. And Quasar on Hogger. Absolute sick lineup for them. And on the right side, as an opponent, we currently have Madara with Junkrat, Ixia on White Mane, Sven on Blaze. We get Dobby on Sylvanas, and Play is playing Nubrak. Alrighty. Okay, now with that said and done, we got our Shadowhunter level 1 talent for Zeratul. So yeah, good for him. And, well, at the same time, here comes the quick attack straight for Johan. They couldn't quite get the dwarf down, but already early skirmishes between the teams. Zeratul, he has moved away though. So it's actually interesting to see Zeratul in the first game. Actually, wasn't it in one of the earlier games where I complained a little bit that we don't see him as often these days anymore? So very happy to be proven wrong here so quickly in at least this series. Unfortunately, for most best of 5s and best of 3s that we had in the RavenCourt, it still holds true. But Rutsu busts out Zeratul very quickly. And yeah, we'll see what we're gonna get from them right now. Because up at the top, Zeratul is gonna roam, very likely with Genji. They're gonna try and get some kills there. And it is threatening that backline pretty severely if you have not only Genji but also Zeratul up against you. So yeah, we'll see. Now, either way, White Mane is gonna have a lot to do as the game continues. And this is only game number 1 of hopefully many that we're going to get in this series. Keep in mind, there is also a bit of a draft rule. I talked about the adjustments. So the RavenCourt, they copied one of the rules from my Meta Madness tournaments. They don't have any pre-bans or anything, but they ran with the Meta Madness rule that I established a couple of years ago, where you can play a hero only once within a series. It's also the case here. So every single hero that you see right now can not be played again in the same one. But yeah, now with that, we have level 4 already in. And Dynouh's team, they are starting to lose a little bit of ground down here. They have to really get away. They lost the camp at the bottom, so the neutral camp was taken by Madara and his boys. They also got Sylvanas, so of course that helps them with their push power. It was a double camp setup that they ran, and it worked very well for them. Not only did they get nearly the entire wall destroyed, actually scratched it, the entire wall is indeed down, but they might even get a kill here. Dynouh to move back out. Johan had some trouble, so the blue team is now trying to reclaim that shrine, but they are really having some difficulties. Dynouh, uh-oh, he needs that, yeah, that jump, and nope, he's dead. Alrighty, was close. Nope. Okay, not that close. But I was waiting for the cooldown there, I didn't get it back, and that was the end of Genji First Blood in this first game in this best of 5 series. So, well, with that said and done, the opening at the bot lane is now ready, so they can start to move in and take maybe even a bit of that fort down. Top side though, Quasar, he's also had plenty of time to deliver damage, and yet a camp pushing with it too. Went up against Blaze, and well, long story short, Blaze is currently losing that fight. Sven is having some trouble against his opponent and is, as you can see, suffering quite a bit. That fort has taken more damage than the fort at the bottom of the map. Both teams are still closing in on level 7, but we also have a Dragonite being threatened by Dynouh's team. And they take down Sylvanas. That's the problem if you have only one to interrupt. And Dynouh gets the first Dragonite. So they're looking really strong, at least on the map control end. And with the first Dragonite, they should be able to do a bit of damage here. Again, it's only the first one, doesn't really scale that crazily into the early game. So the wall is going to be destroyed. Maybe a little bit more damage here. They can also try and set up another push somewhere else on the map. But yeah, either way, they're getting some nice control out of it. Dragonite is now forcing some of the resources to be spent down at the bottom of the map in order to deal with all of this. And that allows them to push up at the top, which is exactly what they're currently doing here. So yeah, job well done. 1 kill to 1. Dragonite is still up, so you can still use it for like 60 seconds. It's all about using the abilities more so than anything else. Helps you to burn these minion waves down a bit. Gains more control for you. But they have started to take some of this stuff out. Yeah, nice attempt by Junkrat here, but Rutsu gets out very quickly. And up at the top, Sven is still under pressure. Now that Johan and Rayquaza get some company from the red team, they gotta hightail it out of there very quickly. I gotta get away, and do. But this one is now down to 50% HP. Bot lane not really opened up that much, but in the middle they were able to do some damage. First objective, as already explained a bit, not really that impactful. So you get something out of it, but the earlier you take it, the quicker it's obviously eliminated. He did a great job playing around the duration though, not getting it burned down super quickly, so that was important. Blaze in his exchanges up at the top is now at 10,000 damage and the top damage dealer for Team Madara. And also, another quick shout out, by the way, to Madara's team. I have to highlight that every time that these guys are playing, Madara is playing cross-server, so he is playing with the ping disadvantage. You can always argue about how big that advantage is, but it is an advantage that... sorry, a disadvantage that players like Madara have when they're playing cross-server. So big shout out to him. Has done a fantastic job in the round-robin phase of the tournament. And now that we're here in the winner bracket, he's of course going to try and also lead his team to success in the winner bracket to reach the grand final, or the winner bracket final first and foremost. But yeah, kudos to him for having the balls to play cross server. Not many do. Cure is one of the few. Legacy is currently playing there as well. Madara, but yeah, has to be highlighted. Now we also have Rutsu in some trouble down here, don't we? Yeah, he's jumping back out. Okay, this time he kind of screwed up a little bit. So Madara actually thinking that he could get him with a Riptire, and then a second later he gets absolutely just ganged up upon by nearly the entire blue team. So he pulls the Riptire out and immediately moves back. So that got a bit dicey there for just a second. He could have fallen there. But they are taking the camp at the bot lane now. So it's actually a very nice back and forth between the two teams. Initially it was Madara's team that was able to get the neutral camp. Now we're seeing the same happening from the blue team. But with them putting all the eggs in one basket down at the bottom of the map, it also opened up an opportunity top, which was then used by the red team to get a tower and a gate destroyed. So nice rotations overall by both teams as they're trying to get the upper hand in these little skirmishes. But what I like from the blue team is how they are focusing heavily on shrine control here too. And they're really making Blaze's life a living hell. Not for long though, because he is gonna die this time for sure. So there is kill number 2 for Dynouh's team. But at the bottom of the map, they are trying to also get a fort. And they're gonna get this one. I'm actually not quite sure who got the better deal in this exchange. I actually think it was definitely... I think it was Team Madara. This fort is of course going to get destroyed too, but given the fact that one fort was already super low in hit points and the other one wasn't, I think they got quite a lot more here than they initially expected. So good for them. Yeah, Madara also makes it out. Jesus, honestly, Ixia is such a great healer. It's insane. He has so many heroes where he absolutely excels with, but keeping everybody alive in this spot was not easy. Now, they still don't have full control over that bottom shrine, or this would have been a Dragonite, so at the final moment, Madara's boys came in and retook this one. But look at the lead and experience now. Damn. Full lead established by Dynouh's team. That is pretty impressive, and now they're trying for the frontliner. So much pressure from these two assassins too. Also, the build for Murden now giving him more sustain thanks to the healing static as level 13 talent. Has the double clap here, and here it comes again. So once again, they have the play where they can get for another Dragonite maybe. Nobody's dealing with the top lane right now. They're zoning them away here. Captain Rex could be the one to take it. And yes, they should be able to take that just in time. Barely done. Whitemane was trying to get the control at the bottom, couldn't quite. And now what we're seeing instead is the second objective for Team Dynouh. They get 2 in a row here, and now they're of course aiming for forts. Before that, it was all about them trying to just break down some walls here. And now they are instead aiming for some fort damage. There's still Hogger at the top. He's keeping them ahead in experience. They're pushing a bit down at the bottom of the map now too. 18,000 damage for Junkrat, by the way, compared to the 22 that we're seeing from Genji. And talking Genji, he might be in trouble. Yeah! And with trouble, I mean he's dead. He's not the only one though, so he's in good company. Muradin died too, and Captain Rex, spoiler alert, he is not going to survive there. Yeah, that's 3 down, so very quickly murdered, all 3 of them. And now they can push. Now they can get some damage through. But yeah, Dragon Knight is in, and then Captain Rex like, I got this! At least the fort, yeah, he gets the fort, but then he dies a moment later, so it was a good move to at least take the structure out. But of course, them losing 3 means that they're also getting pressured, and with Sylvanas on the red team, it immediately translates into actual structural damage. And of course, also, we're looking all of a sudden at an experience lead for Team Madara. Let's not forget about that. Just a few minutes ago, 1 or 2, they were actually a bit behind in experience. Then the top lane was taken. Once again, a lot of experience to be had there with the camps that pushed in. Now the Quasar is dead. Yeah, they at least get the camp, but they paid for it with the Quasar's life. Interesting exchanges, honestly. It's really annoying when you can't take that camp for map control, but this is like getting closer and closer to level 16 themselves now. They can easily take those siege giants, for example, and just come in here and take those apart. So there's a lot that opens up now for the red team. Yeah, play dove out again of the fights. Okay, so in the middle, not a problem there. Down at the bottom of the map with level 16 talents now ready. Are they going to try and push? Or are they just trying to go for some additional camps? Dynouh is again trying to split push a little bit at the top with Genji. They have level 16 thanks to that, amongst other things. And that gives us now also the final cut. Also dubbed Dignitas Demise. Or Despair. Whatever you prefer here. Master Warblade, Earthgrasp Totem, so the synergy has now been completed for Rhaegar. Lock him down easily. And we get the Epicenter for Nubrak. Going full on in on the dive and trying to hit those stuns. If you can go for the backline, even better. One thing that I haven't really highlighted to... Oh, wait a second. Muradin, yeah, that Wailing Arrow. He just got out before that hit, or that could have been a problem. But off we go. They're trying for Hogger this time. No, they don't. They actually switch targets a little bit. Hogger is still in trouble and dies, but they're also going for Rhaegar. In comes again Ixir with his plays as he's trying to make sure that his team survives through the battle. But it's not only Hogger that gets murdered. No, they're going for Muradin too. And now Genji has to get out. Dynouh is able to swift strike away from this. There's still a camp at the top that has to be considered. So I guess the red team will have to send somebody back to deal with the Bridge of Death. But in the middle, another fort gets now destroyed. So Team Madara is bringing this back very well. Again, they were initially behind. They had some real trouble here. They lost 2 objectives already. But now they're going just simply from one fort to another. Take all of them down. Sven has taken to defend the top lane. And even the towers and the gate are still here. So they are doing an amazing job capitalizing on these kills that they're now getting. 7 kills to 2 also shows clearly that they are able to dominate the latest team fights. But on the rotational plays and the, just like the way that they're controlling the map, I gotta give a lot of credit to Team Dynouh because they've been locking in 2 objectives already. Problem for them, of course, is that if they're not changing the way that these team fights are playing out, then eventually it's going to lead to Dragon Knights for Team Madara. As death timers increase, every single kill you get gives you more control over the map, and they should be able to do a lot with it. But again, another Shriner gets taken. Team Dynouh can make another play for another Dragon Knight, and there's nobody even close to this. They just give it up, more or less. Because, yes, they tried to take it down at the bottom of the map, but they were too late. So their rotational plays around all of this is too late. Their team fights are good. They capitalizing on kills is great. But they are just losing out on the objective over and over and over again. And now they gotta burn this Dragon Knight down, and I think here they might not lose too much. I mean, at maximum, I guess, a fort. But the problem is that if they don't start to control the map a little bit better, then they might run into some some real issues themselves, because this bad boy is going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. Dragonite is already starting to become a bit of an issue, but when we're talking about the 4th, the 5th, you're going to lose way too much infrastructure, so they got to be careful here. A bit of an ass kicking for Whitemane. Yeah, of course, get Ixie out of the fight, that he might be able to get some kills. Talking about kills, yeah, it seems like the blue team is again in trouble. Rhaegar gets attacked, Dragonite about to go down, Muradin, careful, alright, Ancestral is out, there's another stun, and they get 1, and they get 2. Easy double kill for them, that's 9 kills to 2, and they're getting super close now also to level 20. But a very nice double kill that they got themselves there. So again, everybody in a bit of a choke point, fighting underneath the 4-2, which definitely didn't help their case too much. So now Rhaegar and Muradin were taken out, level 20 talents are in, and guess what? They got Sylvanas. So now they can take the first keep. Genji, topside, gets them some experience, and double catapult on the keep is also pretty nice. So you gotta send somebody back to make sure that keep doesn't fall. You don't want to trade structures right now. Then again, if you keep the kills up, maybe you can go for the core. So that's also an option. They got a bit of a lock on Rutsu, but the stun is too late. And a topside, I guess, yes, the minion wave saves the day for them. But this keep has taken a lot of damage. Way more damage than they're probably comfortable with. Rutsu is dodging as much as... Oh my god! How did he see that? Genji, I guess, gave some vision. Rutsu still dies, but damn, son. That... Oh, jeez. That was sexy. That was really sexy. Juking so much, but then it was too much for him to handle. And yeah, 11 kills to 2. Madara and his team, I have been highlighting how well they've been doing in the round robin. Even though towards the end on the last series they struggled a bit. But this is very impressive, and they're just continuing here. And I guess it looks like they're gonna try and go for a game. 30 seconds until Zeratul is back. They got Siege Giants. The catapult is griefing as usual. Like, these catapult guys need to be fired. This is honestly embarrassing. I mean, you can't even drive around them. This is not cool. So they're trying for more kills. They're trying to get the core destroyed here. Ancestral is out. Okay, nicely done. And I guess they're falling back here. I think they don't want to go up against the full 5-man. They were hoping to force a kill. With Zeratul still gone, couldn't get it. Core is most likely going to lose a few hit points. Yep. Goes down to 99 hit points, but that's all that happens. Another objective is up, and, well, let's see if this time they can play this a bit smarter and get themselves more map control and also a Dragonite. So far, they didn't get a single one. All of the Dragonites up to this point were taken by Team Dynouh. Dynouh with 44,000 damage on Genji. We have 56,000 damage from Junkrat. And they again have both. You gotta be... honestly, you gotta be shitting me. Are you serious? Like, can you stop just giving the objective up? Madara's team is just looking at this game, is like, what the hell are objectives? Eh? Never heard of that crap. What? Like, what does this stuff do? Oh, you have an oversized minion that doesn't do anything. Ah, okay, fine. Yeah, we don't care about that. This is about Skya, boys. Dragonites usually do some damage. So they don't care about them whatsoever. They're just looking at them and it's like, nah, don't need it. Nobody wants to be a dragon, apparently. So, let's see if it works out for them. I mean, they're just giving them up. They lost all map control because of this. Dragonite hasn't done structural damage, so just don't look... Again, if you're looking at the map, think about where we were just a few seconds ago. 2 lanes were pushed out completely from the perspective of the red team. Only the top lane was a bit of an issue. Now the entire map is pushed against them. So they're losing the wall down at the bottom of the map. And I really want to see if this is something that they can win. They're just waiting this out. And then they bring it back. So the entire map is now pushed against the red team. They lost all control. Every lane has been lost. In the sense that they are heavily pushed back. But they didn't lose anything. They didn't lose any keep or anything else. So Dynouh, they're just sitting there thinking like, nah, we got map control, we got vision. But let's have a look for the next team fight. I mean, at the end of the day, that's the only thing that Madara's team has to win now. Yeah. Again, Sylvanas gets attacked. They're trying. Do they have another stun? No, not yet. Don't want to choke point it up too hard there either. But there's the poke, and Dynouh gets the keep. This is the annoying thing when you're going up against Dynouh. He just always annoys the living hell out of you. With that continuous side lane pressure. He's very infamous for doing it with Sylvanas. In this case, he's doing it with Genji, which he has obviously used in the past a lot to do exactly that. 59,000. Yeah, trying for the stun. Can't quite get it. But there's the dwarf jumping in, so they're actually starting to commit to this fight. And the Wailing Arrow is still up. Jet Propulsion misses Muradin though. But the next stun is there. And now they boop him over here. Muradin is still fine though. Had to use his ult, so that's a cooldown that was indeed burned. And none have been used from the red team. Which is, right now, definitely a small advantage. Go again for Genji. Wailing Arrow is out. Stun, 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 stun. And Dynouh is still alive. Yeah, because of Zeratul, who gets Sylvanas. Damn. Rutsu with the plays here. Sylvanas would have loved to try and chase Genji down. But now that kill is actually big. This is only the third kill for Team Dynouh. But it seems like it's not going to be the last, because Ixia is in real trouble here. Has to pop everything he has to try and stay alive. And they are able to get him out of the fight. Wow. Not bad, my friend. That did not look good for Whitemane at all. So they survived, and there's another Dragonite. Which isn't really a problem, because apparently Team Madara isn't interested in Dragonites anyways. So they're just like, yeah, we're gonna treat this like we treat everything on Volskaya Foundry. And this time it's Johan, it's Muradin. So he gets to be the Dragonite. Big battle axe, yeah, he's a happy panda. So let's see. This time we're 21 minutes in. I'm telling you guys, these boys are gonna hurt. So now that we're this late in the game, I don't think you are going to save that keep. That Dragonite is gonna chunk it down hard. Yep, good damage from that thing. No way you save that. No way. 3 kills to 11, and Team Madara, as well as they did in the mid and the late game, them not taking any objectives, in this case having a problem with the 4 versus 5, it is not helping their cause. This looks like it's gonna be a game. It's looking very, very good. 50%, 40, 30, they are murdering the entire thing. A lead for Team Dynouh as Team Madara loses game number 1 in the best of 5 series. GG.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Alright, we're on the second map, Tomb of the Spider Queen. We got a lead for Team Dynouh. At the end of the day, the objective still made a difference. So yeah, Madara played well with his boys, and they were obviously massively in the lead on kills thanks to their teamfight performance. I'm therefore a bit curious if Team Dynouh can repeat this, because again, the heroes that have been played cannot be played again. And I think that particularly the plays from Zeratul and that kill against Sylvanas in the later stages of the game made a massive, massive difference. So they have to be a bit careful on how they are playing this all out now. Vala getting banned is already kind of sad. I mean, it's game number 2, why do you have to ban my girl? So, yeah. Tomb of the Spider Queen as the map. Chromie gets picked. And yeah, we have first pick, first ban for Team Madara. So as usual, in case that you're not really familiar with how this works, but what happens pretty much is that the team that loses always has the choice, whether they want to have first pick, first ban, or if they want to pick the map. And most teams decide they want to have first pick, and then the other team gets map choice. Sometimes you have a team that favors a map so particularly that they're going to go for map pick instead, but usually it's a first pick situation. So you can already notice that this time the pick or the ban on Garrosh is on the other side. Now this is also a bit because of Rutsu, since Rutsu can always threaten his Zarya and is really strong on that and kind of known for it too, so oftentimes people will ban that out. But if you ban Garrosh, it's a bit of a soft ban against her because she's mostly paired with Garrosh. I personally don't think that they're going to get the opportunity to play Garrosh and Zarya. Just because this is such a strong combo because of Zarya's level 4 being put on Garrosh so that he can just run into the opponent's team, flip anybody over. I think they're going to shut that down every single game in some way, shape or form. So I don't think it's going to happen. Eventually Garrosh is going to be picked as a tank, and if you're in that game then ban Zarya or whatnot, then that combo is off the table. So yeah. Lucio for Ixia. This is actually pretty bold. I talked about Lucio, about Ixia and his hero pool a little bit, and we spoke about Whiteman on the last map, but it's a bit wild to me that you actually give him, give Ixia Lucio, because he is insane on that hero too. Now, this isn't a big map, which is one of the reasons why they didn't ban it. You can still speed up these rotations, and if you move just between the lanes, which is already oftentimes scary because of how quick these rotations are. If you now have Lucy to help you to speed them up even further, then this could be a huge problem. So yeah, that's also why they first picked him. Now Stukov as an immediate result, and on the other side, and we get Johanna. So wave clear with Jojo, that's one of the reasons why you pick on Tomb of Spider Queen. This is still a prerequisite to run a lot of wave clear so that you can move quickly between lanes after taking minion waves down. But, well, Mages could be a player too. Dibbles is in. Ona. And Hanzo. Alright. Diablo Hanzo. We saw in the previous best of 5 some solid attempts at an arrow into Apocalypse, which is always kind of fun when it works. But it always is... it feels... Given the amount of coordination and effort that you have to put into this, where you also have to make sure that nobody on the other side interrupts you, it just feels that it's not as impactful as it should be. Hanzo arrow into Apocalypse when it first came out was just like insane. It was like, oh my god, I can't believe they did it. But now everybody plays so well around it that most of the time you don't really get a whole lot of value out of it, unless you coordinate really everything onto that one thing. And it's two ults that you sacrifice, so yeah. That's why a lot of Diablo players just go for Lightning Breath anyways. But yeah. Mephisto banned, had that already a few times. But Dynouh still has to make his choice. I mean, Tracer is still up, so it could be played eventually, and will, I guess. Genji was already played, Tracer being up, Zeratul has been played. When it comes to mobile assassins, you really gotta think a bit about, okay, what's actually left here. Vala would have been a nice choice too, but has been banned very quickly. I think one mage would... Ooh, Maiev and Greyman, yeah. Maiev, another really good pick for Rutsu as well. And Greyman is, of course, also a lot of fun here. So if you get a good tether off into a lurking arm, and then Greyman can jump on that, you are definitely going to make things very, very difficult for the other team to keep them alive here. But okay, so Sven is up next. He's drafting for the team there too. And yeah, they still need a side laner. They need a bit more damage. Are we going to get a mage? No, yeah, we do. Tacita! Look at that! Tacita is in the house, and we get Yrel. Yrel Diablo is always just so terrifying. It's such a strong combo. So difficult to take down. And they get Quasar on Leoric. Well, guys, let's go. Tomb of the Spider Queen is our second map, so Dynouh's team is currently in the lead. Let's find out if Madara can bring it back now on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Dynouh against Madara, and I was under the impression that I already fixed the overlays, but apparently I forgot a button. So now the score is correctly displayed, and we have Dynouh on Greymane, the blue team, obviously the team that is in the lead after the victory on Dragonshire. Captain Rex with Stukov, we got Johan on Johanna, Rutsu is playing Maiev, and Quasar rocks in Leoric. On the right side though, things get really interesting with Madara himself playing Tacita, so that's already nice. Sven is playing Yrel, Ixia Lucio, that's also fantastic for them. Hanzo played by Dobby, and play is on Diablo. But yes, the party is going to be real. Sign Fusion as the level 1 choice for Tacita, and Lucio, of course, in this case with the Accelerando. We're going to have a very close look at how exactly Ixia plays this out, because he is infamous for his Lucio plays. And let's see if he can make the difference here, or if the blue team is able to control him with all those tethers, all the control, and the follow-up from Greymane that we are definitely going to see as this game continues. So, Johan still getting attacked here. And the walls are there as well. A lot of wall plays that we could see. And by the way, one of the cool things, just to make this clear in case that you're a little bit newer or you haven't seen that combo yet, Tacita is actually creating walls that Diablo can stun targets into. So this is a pretty sweet combo to have as well. It's not only to try and prevent somebody from escaping or shielding your own escape, but at the same time, you can make Diablo a lot more dangerous. So you put the wall out, Diablo comes in with a stun, so there's a lot of synergies that they're really unlocking with this particular combo. And we'll see if they can do that during team fights as well to maybe get a couple of kills. But it's always nice when that works for a team and when they're properly playing around a situation like that. So off we go. We got the camp claimed. We're trying for a second to do something about it, but we really couldn't. So now they have the siege giants at the bottom of the map. There should be a little bit of structural damage. And instead, what's happening here in the middle is camps just clashing. And now wall plus potential stun, but Diablo is the one in trouble. And with trouble, I mean, he's dead. Diablo is down. Yeah, a lot of terror on my ass, baby. That guy is not terrifying at all, at least not in the early game here. So Dibbles is dead, only at 23 soul stacks together here. And in this case, we're now getting the electric fence for our boy Tacita. It kind of feels a little bit weird, I gotta say, when Tacita rides on a horse. I don't know why, but this is just... there's something wrong with this image. I mean, don't get me wrong. As an old Zerg player, I am still holding to the motto that only a dead Protoss is a good Protoss. But Tacita on a horse is still somehow wrong. Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah. But okay, with 1 kill on the board, we have Dynouh's team with a small lead, and they have turned in 32 gems. I love when a team turns in their gems early and doesn't wait until the last second and risks dying. So they saw an opportunity to deliver a few, and they did right away. So absolutely love this. Ixia is annoying them as much as he can. Sven nearly dying down here. So nice little play against Urellen, putting her under pressure, which allowed them also to get more structural damage in. As you can see, the gate is nearly destroyed. The tower is very low. So small advantages that might build up to a lot more once that they get the web weavers. And this is of course the big goal right now. Hanzo trying to get the interrupt on Captain Rex. We couldn't quite. It's only small, tiny advantages they're getting, but it's all about the marginal gains at this point. Really trying to just get small, little things that then add up over time. And the team in blue now has a chance to turn in. They got level 7 talents. They have delivered 32 of their gems, as I previously noted, but now they have 25 in their hands that they could very well get delivered and get themselves the first web weaver wave. So, yeah, definitely a chance for that. Leo still down at the bottom of the map. He's holding 8 right now. Has to be careful that Sven also doesn't get a free turn or anything. Captain Rex, okay, delivers 3. Yep, that's 35 now in. Johan, again, Joanna is going to be fine here. Taking her down is not going to be too easy. But down here, Dequaza is still getting a lot done. Personally, I love the Ice Giant tint. This is a really... If you don't go full Janitor, then this is a really, really nice skin and also tint to have. So yeah, full Ice Giant. And still the fight for the turn-in. But the red team has more than caught up. They're on 41 gems now. So they're getting closer and closer to their first Web Weaver wave too. Jojo again and delivers. Nice. So they get the first one. Greymane then again dies just at the wrong moment. So that's bad news. Can they maybe get a kill? Nah, there's no way they can get a kill now without Greymane. But Greymane should be back just in time for the push. Not 100%, but he's down for another 5 seconds. Still has some travel time as the Web Weavers come down. So yeah, they're definitely losing a bit on this. But they now have an opportunity to at least have a bit of an impact with him once that he's back. So it's not completely useless. Ixia again with Lucio, just an absolute nuisance. This guy is so annoying with any support that he plays, but he has a couple up his sleeve that are just so damn impactful whenever he plays them. We saw his White Mane performance on the first map. Now Lucio is just all over the place here, annoying the shit out of them. Bot lane, Greymane under attack again. Dynouh just came back a second ago. That fort is at least taking damage, so it's not like they're getting nothing out of this push. Particularly since Maiev is at the top and is doing the same thing there. And Tassadar has been forced back, so that top lane fort is under some pressure. And is really losing hit points too. They're not getting the entire thing, but they could at least get some damage done. And the same is true for the bot lane as well. So Greymane fell after they got it initially, but they are getting something out of this at least. And they also have a chance with the Entomb. Nice dodge initially, but it still blocks his path. And that's the end of Diablo. So he might not have caught him with the Entomb, but it was still absolutely useful because there was no way for Diablo to get past it. So you don't necessarily have to trap the target. As long as you shut down its pathways, it's totally fine. Archon as the level 10 choice for Tassadar. We get the arrow and, as mentioned, lightning breath this time. So they're not trying to go for any wombo setups where they're looking into an like arrow into apocalypse. No, they're way more interested in getting some actual value out of this with the lightning breath now. We got web weavers for the red team this time, and there's a chance to finally pay them back a bit. And there's not, I mean, there's wave clear here. But still, that is a great spot to... Oh, wow, they might get a kill here. Yes, indeed they do. They get a kill on Hanzo, and they're going for Diablo again as well. He's already down in soul stack, so he's easy prey and gets annihilated here in the middle. A quick double kill against the red team that shuts down any plans of aggression that they might have had. 4 kills to 1 overall. Good leading experience, and those web weavers are not doing anything. So that was well done. And pretty important too. That was a chance. That was a real chance for Team Madara to bring this back a little bit. But the leading experience could become problematic. And still, good damage at the bot lane too. I mean, as you can see here, Madara is ready nearly immediately to shut this down, but this fort is down to 50% HP. So if you compare the two objectives that we've seen, one for each team, the blue team was a lot more impactful with theirs, so that's for sure. But with that, another turn in, and they get it. They get the entire thing. Or at least they're getting super close with it. They were still missing Leo, who's currently at the bottom of the map, but once that he turns in, after he takes the Siege Giants, they get that Web Weaver wave. So if nobody stops him, then that's a problem. And he's already moving towards the middle. Or at least can now. Arrow out, only hits the back line. Blessed Shield wasn't even needed here. They were a bit afraid of Diablo engaging and making a play there, but they didn't even need to, in my opinion. So now Siege Giants are straight at the fort. Drain against Urel. Sven is not going to like that too much. That fort, by the way, is losing hit points quickly, so this is starting to get real rough at the bottom lane. First fort might be this one to fall, and you might not even need the Web Weavers for it. Both teams have enough gems for a turn-in, by the way. So now Team Madara can also try to do that. Oh, and Johan gets burned. Burned badly. Rutsu has to get out of here too. So yeah, they just lost Jojo. Diablo still coming in. Could go for Captain Rex here. It's Hanzo that falls. Damn, Dynouh with Greymane is starting to rip them apart. Look at Madara. He's also going to die, isn't he? Madara is dead. And they killed Diablo too. Holy hell, all of a sudden, the blue team, even though they're down a tank, they are just crushing this. They're nearly getting another kill. Ixia, he barely makes it out of the fight. And here comes the turn-in now from Quasar. They can wait this out, but oh my god. Look at this, the double entomb at the bottom as they went for it. Got Diablo after Hanzo was killed. Tassadar falls, just everybody just so low. Absolute disaster for Team Madara. And they killed Jojo. They started off with a Jojo kill. Dynouh's team just playing such a great game here. They're back on the map with 5, but, well, can they stall this long enough? Nice interrupt. Oh, Urel! Yeah, the boss is taken. Urel has to ult it up, and they still try and trap him here to get some kills. But they got to be very careful with the boss stun now coming in too. And Web Weavers are on the map as well. So while you're fighting up at the top going for the team, you might lose more. And they lost 32 gems here. Jesus, on every single end they are now getting murdered. The fort at the bot lane is destroyed. The fort at the middle is about to fall. At the top they're losing Tassadar. They also lost Urel here. This is just a disaster for Madara's team. They're already 0-1 in this series, and they might just lose the second map too if this trend continues, because they are on all lanes in real trouble. Finally a kill. Maiev got Hanzo'd. And yeah, that gives him a bit of wiggle room. But look at Diablo. Diablo, they're trying to save him. They just can't. The Lord of Terror gets annihilated again. Level 16 on the board. They got a talent advantage. They got a level advantage. Topside keep is now under pressure. At the bottom of the map, we see a similar picture unfold. Sven is trying to stop it. In the middle, the wall has been opened too. Yeah, they are really suffering here. 3 levels down. Top keep. They might be able to hold it a bit longer here, but it is so low. The arrow gets dodged too. Oh boy, they're chasing him, hoping to get kills. And honestly, with Lucio, they should be able to do that. But it is still really tricky. Lucio gets killed by Stukov, and Leo is back with another murderous Entomb. Fantastic Entomb, and another kill as they take Tacita down. They take Diablo. Holy hell, what a performance now, and what amount of momentum that is building up here for Team Dynouh. They're doing so much work. Keep at the top has now been claimed by Madara. It's just ridiculous how much they're getting here. Just look at this Entomb again in the follow-up. First it's Tacita that falls, and then they're getting more damage in against the rest of the team. So yeah, big value. A kill against Leoric at the bottom of the map, but the gems are recovered immediately, and they're not even stopping there. Dynouh wants that keep. Captain Rax is low though and will likely fall. That's 15 gems that they're gonna lose here if they don't have anybody recover them. Captain Rax buys himself some time, but he's gonna lose his life and the gems. It doesn't change the fact that they're still in an insane spot. I mean, again, just look at this. 16 versus 16 now finally. 1 keep down, 1 keep nearly destroyed. Jojo taking care of the next camp. Diablo alone died 6 times. Diablo died 6 times. 60,000 damage for Greymane, so Dynouh is just popping. And we have them with 14 kills to 5. Now you have a top lane that's going to be a problem with all of the catapult pressure. You have to also remember that there's not a single fort that is destroyed on the blue team. Red Web Weavers, yes, they're going to come down now. But there's not a single fort from the blue team that is destroyed here. And now Diablo is going to die a 7th time. He's not going to get away from this one. So, yeah, another one. Lucio is dead. Guess what those Web Weavers are going to do? Jack shit. Exactly. They're not going to do anything. Instead, they're very likely going to lose another keep here. Then again, that was well done. That was a kill against Greymane. So, maybe they got a bit too greedy here. So that helped them a lot. That saved the day. That Greymane kill was so important. I can't even... Honestly, we can't even stress this enough. The Quas are also dying, so they gotta be careful that they're not trolling this out now. They have done a fantastic job setting themselves massively ahead of the red team. But comebacks can always happen, and you should be a bit careful in how you're playing this now. You still gotta defend those Web Weavers, which has been done at the top lane at least. Johan in the middle of the map is getting a bit of an assist also from Leo. 35 gems in the hands of Jojo, so you definitely want to make sure that she gets out. And yeah, down here, they might suffer. They might lose a keep. It's a 5 versus 3 after all on the map now, so yeah. Stukov, he gets out, or does he? Yeah, taps the fountain, Diablo's coming in, fort is gone, and Stukov is dead. That's what we call a staggered death, and you kind of want to avoid those. So there's a big buried alive trying to safeguard the retreat, and it does exactly that. So the Quasar gets out. The silence was important there. They wanted to make sure that nobody else gets chased and killed. But it doesn't change the fact that it's a 5 versus 4 because Stukov fell a moment ago. So with the fort at the bot lane destroyed, gets a bit more safety done on the bottom keep for the red team, and of course now they can try to take more down. And the important part for them is to get closer to level 20. So that's another one. Yeah, arrows out. Keep in mind, Stukov is not back. Blessed Shield up in another 13 seconds. Johan a bit low, but gets away. 38 gems for him. Down goes Lucio. Tacita is also dead. They got 2. And the Entomb is back in only 4 seconds. There's more heroes that are going to die here. 100%. So first of all, Play gets sucked back in. And that means Diablo dies. And there's the Entomb over the wall. So now they can go for Urel again. Sven is buying some time, moving over to the left. They're incredibly close to getting another turn in. Talking about Team Dynouh here, but they want to get those keeps. They can go keep, maybe even core here. They're already starting to threaten Hanzo in the back. Urel doesn't have an ult any longer. Sven is in real danger. Loses the 17 gems that he's been holding. And now that Stukov is back, they can go for the core. And this is going to be a 2-0. This game went wild. This went super chaotic there for just such a long time. Core is now falling. They're still trying to chase Hanzo to make sure that they're getting a staggered kill, and they indeed do. So the entire team is gone. Keep is also getting destroyed here just to get the maximum amount of experience, I guess. 21 kills to 8, and that's a 2-0 lead for Team Dynouh. Very impressive here, particularly against Team Madara, has been doing so well in the round robin, but the blue team definitely a bit stronger here as we are headed for game number 3. Game number 3, Towers of Doom and match point number 1. Dynouh's team doing a great job so far in this series. I mean, they're coming out swinging. We are in the bracket phase of the tournament. We're in the winner bracket semifinal to be exact. And with one more map win, Team Dynouh would guarantee themselves a slot in the winner bracket final. Now, obviously, thanks to their great performance in the round robin, Team Madara, even if they lose here, they would drop down into the lower bracket and still have a chance to make it to the grand final. But they would, of course, love nothing more than a reverse sweep and secure their own spot in the next round of the winner bracket. So, yeah. Sergeant Hammer gets banned out quickly. Every hero can only be played once within the series, so 20 are unavailable now. Vala still being up, by the way. She was banned previously, and I believe we haven't seen Tracer yet, which is actually quite important on Towers of Doom, because this would be a really good choice here. We have damage dealers banned immediately, Chromie and Sergeant Hammer being the first ones. But yeah, Dynouh and his boys would love nothing more than a quick 3-0. Quick work day. So, yeah, okay, so Tracer gets banned. Now, we are starting to run a bit low on auto attack damage heroes. We still have Vala. And then you are mostly relying really on mages. So, Mephisto, for example, could be played. Gul'dan is still up. You could play Cassia, I guess. Still a few more options out there. I mean, Lul Nara, we haven't seen her a lot, honestly. But they actually go for a first pick Dehaka, so not even a damage dealer instead. They just want to have complete top lane control. And there's the combo that I thought we wouldn't see. There is the combo that I honestly thought we wouldn't get at all for reasons mentioned earlier. It's such a strong comp, and Rutsu is so good on Zarya. This was a little bit telegraphed, so I'm honestly not quite sure if Team Madara is currently sitting there and just face-palming hard and saying like, oh shit, we forgot something. Or what's happening, but yeah, that is annoying as hell. So I really hope they saw this coming and just said, we don't care, we deal with it. They got it now, yeah, they have Anduin, they got Mephisto, so they had some really good heroes, but that they let that slide, it's just like, oosh. Again, I said, the previous draft I talked about how I don't think they're going to get access to both of them, that one of them will be addressed in the bans or picks, but nope, they get that combo. So, yeah. Falstad is out, so they want to make sure that they don't have full global control. And what is the final ban now? What are they getting rid of? I suppose damage would be a good way. Vikings. That's actually really... honestly, didn't even have that on the radar, but that's a very, very good choice. If you have Garage Zarya against you, no matter what you use as your 4-man, it's going to be insane. If you then have Viking also on the same team, you can... I don't want to say you can kiss that game goodbye, but it is going to be very, very hard and very annoying to play. So that's a really good choice, because yes, Garage Zarya is a fantastic backbone for a super strong 4-man. Zul is in, Malfurion gets taken, which is kind of interesting too, because I expected them to take damage dealer now. Vala is still there, Zul for rotations. What do you play with that on the 4-man? Zul can easily control mid lane top side rotations. Then you have your 4-man that can push. And do you get a Vala? Do you get... I mean... dare I say Jimmy? Not really. So... color me intrigued. ETC Cassia. Vala is still up. Dynouh could play her if you wanted to. It's gonna be a wild game. this could be very, very wild. So Dynouh, what's the choice? He has a lot of support here with Garrosh Zarya. Malfurion behind him. Vala is up. If he wants to go auto attack, he has not that many other choices left. Mages, different story. But he goes Vala. He goes for the low-hanging fruit pick. Towers of Doom, match point number 1, game number 3 in the best of 5 here. The second semifinal in the winner bracket of the RavenCourt. And yeah, without further ado, let's go straight for Towers of Doom. Match point! We have game number 3 and a 2-0 lead for Team Dynouh. Stacks already taken for Cassia. They're locking in the level 1 talents as we now have Dynouh played by Vala. Other way around. Vala playing Dynouh. No. So wait. Dynouh playing Vala. So here we go. Okay, so you could argue the two will become one here. Auto attack style, obviously, with the setup that they're running. Could be Arrow, but auto attack it is. We got Johan on Garrosh, Dequaz on Zul, Captain Rex on Malfurion, and Rutsu on Zarya. To the right side, play E with ETC. We got Madara on Mephisto, Ixia on Anduin, Dobby on Cassia, and Dehaka is played by Sven. Yeah, now the red team has to step it up. Big time. The first game honestly looked pretty good, but now the series is an 0-2 and they really need to bring it. And Dynouh is going to try and stack this into oblivion. So I am very curious if there's a chance for the red team to turn this game, the series around, or if they're going to lose out now. It is 6 stacks for Cassia after the first fight, 12 for Vala. Again, she can be a lot more aggressive now considering that she has Zarya as a support, and also if that is really a problem, then you can also have, of course, Garrosh toss you out a little bit. So we'll see. But yeah, the auto attacks could become a problem as the game continues. The foreman is going to be insanely strong no matter what here. If you have Garrosh Zarya, again, it gets really annoying after level 4 where you have your speed bubble. For Zarya, Garrosh can easily run into the opponent's team. And the good thing for Vala is also, if he at any point gets a nice flip, then she is going to get a lot of auto attacks in. Same is also true with this now. So yeah, a couple of easy hits for Dynouh, seeing it at 18 now. If you have Zul and you can help them too. The only problem is that he's not here now to capitalize on that little route that was set up. But Dynouh is still getting some solid damage in the middle. I mean, just look at this. So yeah, works around the cooldown, knows fully well that ETC cannot do anything about it, and just says, you know what, that first tower, I'm gonna take that. Yeah, and at the bottom of the map, in the meantime, they took Mephisto. So Vala gets a lot of value over here. Mephisto gets killed at the bottom of the map. And it is not a good start for Team Madara. Not really. Level 4 talents are now in. That gives us, of course, the speed barrier. And this is where the real fun starts, at least from the perspective of Team Dynouh and particularly Garrosh. So more hits are coming. That mid lane wall is already opened up completely. 1 tower missing. But that is serious early game value from the perspective of the blue team. And of course also great stacking from Dynouh, who's already sitting at 32 now. We're not even on level 7 yet. Zul, he's rotating between the lanes. Dequaza as a side laner is just doing his thing here. Speed battle is in for ETC. They're just setting up traps here in the middle. With the objective now coming up next. This is of course another opportunity for Vala to get some good shots in. Sven not even trying to go for the drag here, instead trying for Garrosh. Not hitting Vala, not hitting Garrosh. Isn't able to do anything about that. 40 stacks now for Vala. It's all about, again, the attack speed is obviously priority. So when we're talking about Vala and her level 1 Creed of the Hunter, then it's all about her getting that attack speed bonus as a gambit, as a quest talent. But if you are able to get good stacks out and hits in, then your damage is also increasing by a lot. But the priority has to be to keep her alive. Dying once is not going to ruin your game, but you don't want to lose all of that, since on level 16 you unleash a lot of synergy with Manticore as a talent, and it just melts, particularly tanks, away quickly. But Dynouh is just dancing. He's just dancing around with the hatred stacks here, moving forward, moving backward, getting hits in, taking a tower down. And it's a really long siege that they're setting up in the middle and down at the bottom that costs the red team one small structure after another. So they're not falling massively behind just yet, but the problem still persists. Stacks are coming in for Vala very easily. Very aggressive moves now from Dynouh too, and he already gets the first quest reward unlocked. But that's exactly what I said earlier. He gets hit by the tongue, and immediately Yona is there, throws him out of the fight and says, no. We need to keep you alive, my friend. So all of this work that they're currently doing is just helping them in the late game. It's not only that they're strong in the early game with this, but it is also a lot of late game aggression that they can look forward to if they can stack Vala and keep her alive. Dynouh is going to get murderous damage out. And just to give you a bit of an idea, just look where we are at this point. It's currently still a better game for Cassia on damage numbers, but Dynouh is already catching up. And well, Cassia I think is shit out of luck now because that's the end of her. But we have Dynouh slowly taking over the top numbers in the game. And he is, of course, also getting some very solid numbers in siege damage in too, mainly because he's able to take structures down here. So Madara at least puts him under pressure with all of this. But the situation is still the same. You're looking at the map and all over the place. You have structures destroyed on the outer ring of defense with towers taken down, gates taken down. They took 2 of the initial 3 altars, and now they're taking a quick double here as well, particularly since they're so close to level 10. So that's another 8 shots fired against the red team, who is just suffering. And it's a bit scary. Because Vala is now at 74 stacks. It's an entire level lead that they already have, so a bell tower conversion is not out of the question. And we're only 5 minutes into the game. So Vala is just stacking, getting more hits in here too. They're trying to capitalize on those level 10 abilities, and they do. They get a kill on Anduin first, but Madara is in real trouble as well, and he's not making it. Madara is down. Zarya, yes, they get 1 kill, but it's still a 2-for-1 trade. And this is all happening while they're dancing behind enemy lines, getting Cassia destroyed. Vala is at 87 stacks already, and Cassia is just having trouble getting good numbers up there as well, considering that she has now died for the 2nd time. Sven also in real danger of getting obliterated next. That bell tower gets converted over. Still a 1-level lead, even more than that, honestly. And Vala is at 91 stacks and hasn't lost her life even once. So still at full attack speed advantage through the Gambit quest. We get now Light Bomb as an engage. No choices yet made from Cassia. She is going into the Ball of Lightning. Durance of Hate. And now with level 10, of course, Vala has to be a bit more careful too. But up to this point at least, it has been an absolute breeze for Dynouh. And he's at 91 stacks at the 7-minute mark. 6-7-minute mark. Yeah, but that could be a kill. Yep, and there we go. So, face checking is something that I would still not recommend, and in this case, Vala was a bit too greedy. But this is one of those typical things. If you're too far ahead and the game is going too well, then all of a sudden they think they can get away with pretty much anything. And they were very quickly proven that that's not the case. So even if they get a counter kill here, Vala just lost 5% of her attack speed bonus. So they get the counter kill on Cassia, that's big. Again, shutting down her stacking progress. 3 shots fired with the 1 altar that was just channeled, and I guess Ixia is also gonna die? Yes, indeed he is. So that's 7 kills to 2, and they get the pumpkins also secured, so another 3 shots fired against Team Madara. But at least Vala has died 1. So, well done. Punishing Vala for being a bit too greedy on all of this. But again, Vala already back, taking the camp at the top while Zul is pushing. And yeah, they're going for the attack here. Dequaza is able to get away. Vala takes the camp, could now help out a bit too, and does exactly that. And Sven immediately realizes, yeah, I kind of have to move away from this. The problem is that with all of them up at the top, it means that nobody's really defending at the bottom, and there's another 3 pumpkins now making it through. So I guess we're going to go down to 18 points on the core for Team Madara. I don't see anybody stopping this, and nobody is. So that's another 3 that make it in. 18 points now against 33. 7 kills to 2. Level 13 is in. Some solid damage already done here in the middle. Dynouh's team is just absolutely dominating this now. Dominating it. Late game is everything on Towers of Doom, but things are looking real good for the blue team. This might very well be a 3-0, which is honestly impressive if you're considering who they're up against. Madara's team did a fantastic job in the round robin. And also, remember game number 1. If not for Rutzo and Zeratul getting that kill on Sylvanas towards the end, I think this might have ended very differently on at least the first map. So yeah, ever since then, Dynouh's team gaining more and more momentum, not only on those maps, but also the series itself. And really just building on all of this, gaining a lot of confidence with that. Zul with the channel at the top left, that's another 5 shots fired, so we're already looking at 13 points only. And they're apparently also trying to get the one over here. And there's a chance they get it. Yeah, they control that choke point. ETC is now about to slide in. Alright, there's the Mosh. Immediately interrupted. Light bomb follow-up on it. They're going for Vala again. And Dynouh is dead. But they are ill in a choke point. Dynouh dies, but at least this time he died for a good cause. 3 heroes got killed. Vala loses another 5%, but this came at a very heavy price, and now they're going to lose not only that, but they're losing Mephisto, they're losing the thing in the middle, the bell tower, and Sven, yeah, bad news for Madara fans, he's going to die too. I have no idea why he wants to channel, by the way. Take that bell tower in the middle first. No clue why he's going for a channel. Bell tower in the middle is the first thing that you should get. Hello! Alright, minions take it. Fair enough. But yeah, look at that team fight. Absolutely huge. Big. Big. That choke point, just getting them all into that corner was glorious for them. And now they might even get some extra points by getting full control here. At the bottom, they're trying to retake it, and they will. But before it happens, we're gonna get, I guess, at least 1 or 2 shots fired. And Dynouh's now trying to even interrupt this. 1 shot is all that they get. 111 hits now on the level 1 for Dynouh. His damage output is at 29,000. Cassia still keeping up with the 28,000 that she has. They're even going for the boss now. I mean, they're down to 6 points on the core already. This is how rough this is right now. 6 points on the core. So yeah, 45 stacks for Cassia. Another 4 shots fired. Now they're down to 2 points, a single altar channel, a set of pumpkins making it through. Whatever they're doing, it would end the game. So the only thing that can bring Team Madara back now is full control. They need to gain full control over this, or it is ending in disaster. They might lose this without taking a single map, which is kind of crazy. Dynouh's boys have stepped it up massively for the tournament phase of this, for the bracket phase. Interrupt and the mosh pit. ETC is dead. Pumpkins are still alive, by the way. They only need 2 of them. The Haka is gone. They go for Madara. He's also dead. And the core is nearly gone. 1 point. There it is. The final hit. And that is game. GG. Well done. Team Dynouh with 3-0 victory over Team Madara.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.